And we are now live. George Bruno with Jennifer Molesky.
Again.
We are in, where are we? We're in Orlando, Florida. Okay. Jennifer flew in from Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Arrived. We are networking. In the back there, you can see people networking there.
And we don't know why you're not here. It's so sad.
I know. We've been telling them about this for a long time, haven't we? Yeah. You are here for the weekend.
Yeah.
And you're going to be interviewing a lot of people for your channel.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
What are you going to be talking to people about? Are any specific questions?
Well, you know what? I have a list of questions, but it depends on the speaker. But mostly I want to ask them based on their speech. So when they come out, I want to say, like, what points do you think you best made during your speech? What do you wish you could have conveyed? And it might be kind of startling because, like, oh, hey, there's Jennifer Molesky and she wants to talk to you, so you haven't had time to process it. But that's what I'm going to attempt to do.
Okay. You're going to be interviewing people like Bulldog Mindset,
Yay!
Socrates,
Yes.
myself, Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah, anyone I can get my hands on, really.
Yeah. And so you're going to take people off, and like I was recommending that you just grab people and go off into like a little nook like this or something like that. And, you know, here's like a perfect little podcast area there.
It's very feminine to talk to a very masculine man.
She would do really well on The Price is Right. You just did The Price is Right hands.
I'm a woman, and I'm feminine, and it comes natural.
You're going to meet all kinds of people here today as well.
There's some over there.
Exactly.
There's all kinds right there.
We're going to be going from person to person here. Who are you most looking forward to interviewing?
You know, I think Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Me too. Yeah. I think he's going to be interesting. I do.
I have some questions for him, I think.
I mean, he's like 70 years old. He truly doesn't really care what people think, so he doesn't have that filter. That's going to be kind of cool. And he's got a very unique perspective about men and their mothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
And he's very biblical.
He is very biblical. He is. He does come from that perspective. Yes. It's, you know what it is? Hold on. I think I gotta. There we go. Okay, he's creating like little starbursts.
Yeah,
How's that lighting? Is that better?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just not very photogenetic.
All right. How about Bulldog?
Yeah, so I've talked to Bulldog Mindset before, John Summers, and it was super fun, and I liked him. When he walked in, my husband and I saw him, and it was nice. And then I said, "Go get a drink," and he was like, "Oh, okay, good." he just wanted to be released, and like, let me go have a little cocktail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that dude's awesome. I mean, anyone that says. It seems to me that all he's saying is, hey, there's an awesome dude trapped in you. If he's not present, he's in you right now, and you can be that. And it's amazing to me that some guy's like, fuck you! No, I'm not! In a way.
Why would someone argue that there's not someone great trapped inside of them?
Because it's so much easier to be, no, it's everyone, it's the whole world. It's the whole world. It's not me. I mean, that's why I think it's so nice for some people to hear that women are poopy nowadays, because they might consider they might beat themselves up and go, well, maybe if I was this, maybe if I was that, and maybe I know that I have low self-esteem, and I know that I have social anxiety, and I could work on those things. Oh, but it's not that. It's the women. Okay, got it. Okay. So other men struggle too, so it's not me, so I don't have to worry. And then they find Bulldog, and they're like, no, dude, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong with this.
Yeah, he will get uninvited and not invited to conferences because he has that mindset.
What do you mean?
Where he's not a blamer. He's not a blamer. He reminds me of that guy Jocko. You know, the Jocko, the extreme responsibility guy. That's what he reminds me of.
I love that.
So I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, good chatting with you. Any last words for the audience?
No. You hate that, don't you?
It's
she's not that clever.
Well, it's 9:30.
9:15.
And our watches are in sync here. So, all right. Well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's very cool to meet you in person.
Yeah. Yeah, we're the same height. Well, I have heels on.
How tall are the heels?
So this is real life.
Okay.
And then
There we go. Excellent. Hey, I'm talking with John from Bulldog Mindset, and he wants to give you some advice on how to get unstuck. You know, this is what I've been saying, is that 2020 is the year that you get unstuck. We've had a pretty wacky year. Past 9 months have been goofy. There's 3 months left. We're in the last quarter. How would you help people get unstuck? What advice would you give them?
Well, I would say, the biggest thing is to start looking at where you're running away from, because one of the biggest things I use in my life in order to move forward is I use fear and being uncomfortable or pain as a compass. And so look in the direction. Most people run from pain, most people run from fear, and the only way that you're ever going to grow in life is being uncomfortable. And those are the two things in life that make you the most uncomfortable: pain and fear. So start looking at the things in life that you're avoiding because they're painful, or looking at the things that you're avoiding because you're afraid of them, and start moving directly in that direction. I always find that when you bring pain upon yourself, that's when you grow. When it's thrust upon you, that's when you suffer.
Wow, great insight. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Talking with Coach Greg Adams on how to get unstuck. 2020 has sucked. We got 3 months left. Give some advice to my audience on how people can use the last 3 months of this year to get unstuck. What can they do?
Well, I mean, if you haven't sought out advice from men, sought out advice from other people who have been through your experience, or the turmoil that's been going on, it would benefit you to reach out to some of these guys. There's a lot of guys that they're not stuck. They really know how to adjust through these times. So that's the number one thing I would say. Reach out to guys that you see have a good influence on other people. Also, the next thing you can do is, when you get to the holidays, you have to remember that's going to be a time where we can put behind 2020. Once we get through all of this election and a lot of the division, we get to the holidays, people are going to have a more positive outlook about 2021, and I think there's going to be a lot of strength for you if you approach it that way. So that's what I would tell guys.
Excellent. Great speech yesterday on stage.
Thank you.
Like, it was wow.
Thank you,
For real. What's going to happen? My opinion is that you could easily end up here every single year. Like, I think you created a hunger and a thirst for your message that people are going to want to hear year after year after year. And I know you're constantly evolving. I mean, you're one of the most active people in social media I've ever seen, and you're just keeping it fresh all the time. You're not just reheating the leftovers.
Exactly, yeah.
Well,
because, men need a message. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you've never been to this, all right, I had an idea of what this was, but until I got here, all right, and saw what it was different than the idea that I had, and it was much better. So there's a lot of men eager to get advice, and they're seeking advice from other men. There's people that are sending their kids here, they're bringing their kids here, so it's a positive thing for men overall.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Greg Adams.
Yeah, appreciate you.
What I want to do is I want to ask you, and this is what I help a lot of my guys with. I help them get unstuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel 2020 has been a weird year with the whole COVID thing, and just people are stuck. We got 3 months left to 2020.
Yeah.
And people feel like the year is done, like it's a waste. I don't think it's a waste.
No.
What can people do with the last 3 months of this year?
Number one, they can get to know themselves. They can learn not to overreact to anything, because one of the things that happened when the Chinese virus came in, the government scared the people and they overreacted, and because they overreacted, the government took control of them. And so now they're freaking out, having downtime and stuff. So they need to get to know themselves so they can come down, and then they will see what God has in store. Really, this is the best time for men and for Christians. it's the best time. But if you overreact, you won't know it. You miss out on the opportunities.
Yeah, we grow through affliction and through suffering and through pain, don't we?
Some people don't like suffering, but you gotta love suffering as much as you love not suffering. They're both the same, but people like to feel good, but they don't like feeling bad, and that's your most precious moment when you're going through something.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Amazing.
I'm talking with the great Michael Foster here. He is the great Michael Foster to me. What is your advice to my audience about getting unstuck and redeeming the rest of 2020, since the first 9 months have kind of sucked? Talk to people, give them some hope about the last quarter of 2020.
Sure. The first thing I would say is that if you are the cause of your problems, then you can be the solution of them, right? If you made a bunch of bad decisions or whatever, and you can own that, then you can actually start to deal with those problems. So I think the first thing is, whatever this last 9 months have been, like before I came here, I got a little more aggressive about getting in shape because I had to stand in front of like cameras like this one. It was my fault. It was my fault. I got lazy, stuck inside. You can create all these excuses, but at the end of the day, I made bad decisions. They were my decisions, and I need to own them. And I think the first thing is to take responsibility. In the book of Proverbs, what I really like is the king who's trying to teach the son. He's always telling his son to receive correction. And one way you can get better at receiving correction from other people is just being honest with yourself, right? I always tell guys, like, if you're feeling, you want to know where you're at, like, be able to look at yourself naked in the mirror, and that'll tell you where you're at physically, but you need to learn to do that spiritually as well, and just really be honest. So all your problems, you're mainly the root of it, which sounds bad until you realize that means you can stop doing those things, and by God's grace, you can be the solution, and run hard for another 3 months. It's amazing. I lost like 15 pounds this month, so I wouldn't look as bad.
It's funny because there were many times that you and I were going back and forth on Marco Polo, and I would Marco Polo you while I was walking. You would Marco Polo while you were walking. So we definitely were working hard for the past month or two. Definitely.
You can make a lot of ground in a short period of time. Yeah, you can do a lot. How far can you go in 3 months? Well, a lot farther than you don't start if you finally start. Taking action. So same old thing.
That's great. What do you think of the 21 convention, 22 convention, and the Patriarch? What are your thoughts?
I think the thing that stuck out to me most, and I tweeted this out yesterday, or all the days are coming together. One of the things I'm really refreshed about is I thought there would be a lot of guile, a lot of peacocking, and a lot of showboating, but frankly, it's like at a 1%, if that. The amount of honesty about where people are at. I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, and I'm talking with people that have very different worldviews. And different ethics for certain, but we're having really, people say open dialogue, and they don't usually mean open dialogue. They mean no one takes stands for anything.
Right.
But we're actually having very meaningful conversations about what it means to be a man, the damage of having a high notch count on women, but not just women, but on men. Fornication, all these things. It's incredible. So it has been one of the more incredible experiences of this year, definitely. And I'm excited to be here representing Christ and talking to other men that want to be manly, and the honesty is it's refreshing. So it's good.
Would you say that there's actually some fellowship happening here? I know that's like a churchy kind of word, but do you see fellowship happening?
Yeah, sure. So fellowship in a New Testament sense is like you enter into a fellowship if you're starting a fishing company together, right? So fellowship is the idea of community around a shared purpose. And so there's a shared purpose right now, is that there's a problem with the way our society looks at sexuality, at marriage, at women and men, and people wanted to address that problem. And there's a lot of solutions being thrown out, and those things are debated and weighed. But I would say the fellowship is around that we see a problem, we want to deal with it, and there's a lot of voices speaking to it. So I think that fellowship's real, and it's very encouraging. I see guys, Elliot Hulse's at 22 speech was amazing. The guy's like calling out abortion and quoting the Bible and citing Laurie Alexander. It's a trip. It's a trip. It's exciting to be with part of this conversation right now. So
that's awesome. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm chatting with Jeff Putnam, known as what, Rugged Legacy?
Yes, sir.
On Twitter. And you're speaking here at the 21 convention. And we're talking about, right now, we were just chatting with how pretty much 2020 has been a pretty crazy year, but there's 3 months left. Give men some hope about the rest of 2020. We still have 3 months to go. What advice would you give my audience?
Really, it only sucks if you think it sucks. I mean, for me, if I wake up and I know I'm going to have a bad day, that's how it goes. But every single day, you have a brand new opportunity to start something new. I had an idea for a company in December of 2019. By January of 2019, I was on Twitter. By March, I was selling products. And now I'm working with NASCAR. All because I just decided to stick with something day after day. And it doesn't have to be anything of that nature, but you have to have something you're trying forward to. You know, it has to be a mission of sorts. We're mission oriented. That's what men do. All right. If you wake up every single morning and you have a purpose for that day, by the end of that day, if you've been actively pursuing that purpose, you're going to feel fulfilled. And you can do that every single day for the rest of the year, and it's not going to feel like 2020. It's going to feel like 1999.
I like that. I like that. Thanks, Jeff.
No problem.
Talking with Elliot Hulse about
That's right.
the rest of 2020. We got 3 more months, my friend. October, November, December. Advice for my audience about what they can do to make this a great year.
It's all about seeking the opportunity in all the mess that 2020 has been, right? Like, for this tree to grow, it's beautiful. We're looking out here, we're in Florida, we got palm trees. These beautiful trees to grow, something has to die, right? That soil is filled with all kinds of dead leaves, organisms, breakdown, decay. You need breakdown, you need decay, you need dirt for that tree to rise, for that beautiful thing to come up out of it. So you can stay focused on the dirt, you keep your eyes focused down and be in the dumps, or you could take that dirt, let it nourish you, let that junk, that 2020 stirred up in your heart, be that soil, so that there could be a new growth, a new opportunity, a new flowering of your personality, your life. But the whole thing is opportunity. If you're looking down, you're not gonna see the opportunity. You gotta look up, like we're looking up at this palm tree right now. You gotta look up and recognize that everything is reaching for the sun, man. Just keep your eyes focused on the sun, on the light, on the rising, and you're gonna be all right. It's all about perspective.
I love it. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, love you, man. You got it.
Talking with Jack Donovan about the next 3 months, the last 3 months of 2020. Give us some hope.
Well, you know, it's all up to you, really. I mean, the whole thing was up to you how you handled it. You know, there's some people who looked great and figured it out and did whatever they could at home the entire time. And, you know, the outside world is not what I would wish it to be at all. But I mean, I've still gotten work done and things that I want to do. And don't discount 2020 and say, you know, it's terrible because you haven't been to 2021 yet.
Right.
So you know, like, you got to keep doing. I mean, people talk about, you know, the world's going to fall apart, whatever, and if that happens, it happens. But I have to side on the fact that it's maybe not going to happen, and plan for the future and keep going. And that's all you can really do right now.
That's great advice. Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Thanks. I'm with Steve the Dean Williams, and we're talking about hope for the rest of 2020. Give my audience some hope.
Gentlemen, listen to me. Love yourself. Look at what's going on today as a small chink in your armor. You are great men. You are loved and revered as kings. Accept what 2020 brings to you. Get up off your ass, dust yourself off, and prepare yourself for 2021. As long as you have this man on your side, as long as this man's gonna guide you, you have nothing. You got everything covered. I believe in you. And if I believe in you, you're gonna make it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach Small, 2020 is almost done, but we got 3 months left. Give us some hope about 2020.
That's easy, George. Guys, we have 3 months left. It's been a wild year, and that's fantastic. It presented opportunities. You've got 3 months left. That's 3 months to do whatever it is you want to do. See, you choose the season finale to this year. Everybody else got to choose. The election got to choose. Corona got to choose. All these things got to choose how the beginning of the year went. But the finale, Well, that's in your court. You decide what that is. You decide what the ending of this year looks like and what the beginning of 2021 is. Your 2021 starts now. You've got 3 months to finish this thing strong. Let's do it.
Wow. That just spoke to me. That's amazing.
I'm motivated.
Thank you, Zach.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Just coming out of my room, just woke up, took a shower, groomed myself, groomed the beard. Not looking too bad today. When you grow a bigger beard, you never know how it's going to look from day to day, depending on the humidity. Got my little tripod with me, some of my notes, a phone charger. Hold on, let me push this elevator button. And I decided not to wear dress shoes. I did for about 6 hours yesterday, and I just decided to wear my Skechers instead. They're more comfortable. And I got 2 pairs, actually 3 pairs of Skechers. All right, elevator here. Number 1. Here we go. So the first couple days, pretty good. I spoke on 2 stages. I spoke at the 21 convention. I spoke at the 22 convention yesterday to the ladies. It worked out well. We had dinners every night. Dinners that start at 8. Usually, you guys know me. I go to bed at 8 o'clock and I get up at 4. That wasn't happening this time. Okay, we're down the first floor. So you're just walking with me from my hotel room to the actual conference center itself. And just walking with me. It's beautiful. Check this out. Whoa. It's kind of like this inner atrium kind of thing. It's nice. Dudes are in there working out. There's a gym right there. I don't have time to work out right now. Like, this is, a lot of people think the convention is just all fun and games, man. It's work. And I'm pretty busy. And some people say to me, do you get paid to do this? Not immediately. No one cuts me a check to come here to do conferences, to speak. What happens is my brand grows, and over a period of time, that directly translates to income. Oh, what a beautiful day it is here in sunny Florida. Oh my God. It's beautiful. You know what I don't like about hotels anymore? It's like the windows don't open. It kind of bothers me a little bit that windows don't open anymore. All these buildings are sealed. And it drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. So if you want fresh air, you actually have to go outside. You can't just, wouldn't it be great to be in a hotel room and you can open the window and just get a fresh breeze in all night? I would love that. It's a good day. It's a positive day. Stomach in, chest out, shoulders back, head held high. That door is locked. You know what's funny is I thought I was going to be late. There's still hardly anyone here. But I'm usually the first one around when it comes to getting up and getting to work. Got staff here doing their vacuuming. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Registration tables. It's a good day. It's a good day. They want masks mandatory out in the open areas. And let's see. It's beautiful. So I'll show you my studio in just a minute where I do all my interviews from. The haircut that my dad gave me is holding up pretty well. My beard trim has proven to be pretty good. And I'll talk to you in a little while. See ya. How do people redeem 2020? Give my audience some tips on the rest of the year. How do you make 2020 count?
How do you make it work? How do you make it great?
How is it not a waste?
I would say that the first thing is to embrace as much control as you do have. because you have more than you think you do. Masks are a really good example, where if you don't think that the government should have that kind of oversight on you wearing a mask, then don't wear one to the point where people have to ask you to wear them and make them confront you uncomfortably on wearing one. And that doesn't mean get thrown out of places and get thrown off of airplanes, but walk into a store and wait for them to say, do you mind putting a mask on? Because then you can feel that at least what you're doing is some semblance of you have to engage in participation. I'm not just willing to just passively go along with whatever it is that's being told. So as much arenas in which you do have control, and you have more than you think you do, engage in that and exert that control in a way that you can.
I like that.
I would say probably two things that could be the same thing. Create something. I don't care what it is. Create something, whether it's art or music or the consolidation of an idea into writing.
Traditions. Experiences.
Yes, relationships. I don't care. Build something. And from my bias standpoint, make it beautiful. They want us to be ugly. They want us to be sad. They want us to be in our sweats all day. Make it beautiful. So create something beautiful.
Wow, I just got goosebumps when you said that. They want us to be ugly. Like, stand up against that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Beauty is the best form of rebellion.
Absolutely.
Oh, goosebumps again, man. Stop it, man. I can only handle so much. All right, thank you.
Thanks, George.
Thanks.